Hello everybody, welcome to Traders Mic. Traders Mic is one of a show by the Intraday Expert where we answer some of the most intriguing questions of finance by interviewing the leading experts in the industry. So I am Pranav VK, the CEO and founder of the Intraday Expert. So till date, we have helped 100 plus traders to become independent and profitable. So if you are one of them who would want to become an independent and profitable trader, then I would recommend you to click on the link in the description and get started. Today, we are going to kickstart this episode of Traders Mic by inviting one of the experts in the algo trading industry, Mr. Mayank Gola. Mayank Gola is from TradeHull, who is also having more than 64K subscribers in his YouTube channel. With that being said, I welcome Mr. Mayank Gola to our show. Welcome.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you.
So to make this easy for our viewers, we are going to divide this entire session into 3 sections. The first section is going to be about the basics of algo trading. The second section is going to understand the psychology of traders, how it is different when it comes to a traditional trader and an algo trader. And the third section is where we are going to ask him about his opinion with respect to the various questions regarding algo trading. So Mayank ji, if you're ready, then we can get started.
Sure, we can get started, yeah.
Awesome. So you can just introduce yourself and let us know what you do in general.
Sure, I'll maybe start from the starting because that helps really a lot of people, yeah. I was an IT professional, to start with my career. Yeah, I worked with the companies like Wipro, HCL, Accenture, and then I retired in the age of 36. Yeah, that's I say. Yeah, so I retired in the age of 36, and I became a full-time trader. But then the journey was not started in just the age of 36. The journey got started very early, wherein I started trading from 2012, 13, and the real kick in my trading career is when I actually got hooked up with algo trading. Yeah, that is 2015. When nobody in India would have heard about algo trading. But then yes, that from there the journey started slowly, learned, applied things. It took us 16 months to create our first system in backtesting. Backtesting is when, it took us by coding and doing a lot of setups. We tested a lot of setups, and it took us 16 months to create my first setup. And then it took 4 more months to actually create 4 more setups. So one thing, algo trading is a repeatable process. May not be easy, but repeatable. And that's what a business owner or a trader should be looking for. So that's about me. TradeHull, we started in 2017, and TradeHull is helping a lot of, traders becoming an algo traders by our training programs, or traders who want to get their strategy coded. We help them do that. So that's what we do at TradeHull.
That was an inspiring story, especially when somebody says that they have come out of their IT journey and then into trading. I can totally relate to them because I just resigned in 2021 and became a full-time trader from then. So I know the struggle and the thought process and the amount of pressure that you go through when you have to do this shift. And especially at the age of 36, when you have your family and you have a wife, kids, it's really more difficult than when you have to do it as a bachelor. So cheers to you, like really good thing over there.
Cheers to you too, man. Yeah.
Right.
So, I'm telling you, it's a sheer jump. It's not about the age. It's not about anything else. It's not about stability. It's a sheer jump, madness. Only very few people can do it.
Yeah, some of the people think that we're crazy, but yeah, life is there to do crazy things.
Like that, yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Let's get to the meats and balls. So, shall we start with section 1?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Awesome. So, can you give us an introduction as to what is algo trading? In layman terms, like
I think this is, I'm definitely, and I really want to keep this whole discussion as for the people who really want to understand algo trading and not the real coding and Python stuff. Yeah, आसान रहता है सबके लिए, right?
Correct.
सबसे पहले तो I will start with what is not algo trading, right? So renting somebody's strategy so that it can auto trade on your account and you become financially free is definitely not algo trading. It is not even trading, it is hoping. Yeah. So yeah.
Correct.
uh, Algo trading is, if I have to be very honest and say that, whatever is your idea in your head and you think it is profitable, loss making, it's more of a process, right? So first step is always backtest your ideas, right? Now with various tool you can though backtest your ideas, but being an algo trader you can backtest those ideas which any standard tool cannot, right? If you can write your codes, then you can backtest those ideas which standard tools cannot. So that is one. Second is obviously you will have to not put the whole money onto it, because you have backtested something and you are excited and it's showing some 60, 70, 80, 90%. It can be wrong, right? So you have to start with a very small amount. If the backtesting and live trading results are matching, then only you say that you have cracked it, and that's what takes time. So for me, backtesting is more of a process to actually test your ideas like any other business. Test your idea, then implement it slowly, and then improvise it. That's how it is. When you give the control to a machine, yeah, you're set up to a machine so that it can trade exactly the way you want. Yeah, in very simple terms, that's algo trading, and that you can do by various languages, C, C++, VB, Python. Python is the most suitable to me as per se, or to trade Hull. Easy to use, not easy, not that, I mean, easy to learn, easy to use, and things like that. Yes. Unlike C, C++, and VB.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, whenever you say algo trading, many people, especially people who have not done traditional trading, they think that you can directly do algo trading and you don't even have to be here. Probably you're in United States and you're just running the code on your computer and you don't have to do anything else. Is it how that works?
It is actually, if you have passed the journey of doing backtesting, doing improvisation and all. Finally, if you have a system which is working and you have tested it, then yes, even you can automate the login process wherein it can work without your intervention. I mean, it can be a zero-click complete trading setup. Yes, to a level wherein you can even notify to yourself through a Telegram message or through email if any of the new trade or if any of the change has happened in any of the trading system.
Okay, got it. So to put a clear demarcation, can you give us like the differences between a traditional trader and an algo trader?
So this is how I say, right? A traditional trader sit in front of the machine 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and an algo trader sit after 3:30 p.m. to see what has happened. Has my system performed exactly the way I wanted or not? So before and after the market, you work on your code and then you let your code to work in the market, and that's the basic difference. So we are not glued as algo traders. You are not glued to the screen. You test your setup before and after the market. You improvise it, and then during the market, you let your code or let your system work for you. That's the basic difference.
So basically, it's in the execution. So execution happens on its own, and you don't have to be in front of it. Whereas a traditional trader, you have to be in front of it during the entire process of execution.
Absolutely. So a traditional trader will have to sit in front of the machine throughout. Not sure about the way they backtest or the way traders backtest or things like that. But then yes, an algo trader is more of an offline trader, I would rather say.
Got it. So when we say backtesting of this data, so data is something that is very, very important to us. So how do we get this data from? Do we get it directly from the charts of any of the brokers, or do we need to do any other different things to get this data?
So this data you can get from a lot of places. Ideally, if you talk about the um, technical traders like Zerodha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Angel Broking, they provide this data. You can download it through their APIs. You can get it through data service providers, right? You can get this data and then you can run the setup the way you are going to trade. You can run the same code on that data to understand, for example, if I would have been trading on this kind of strategy from last 5 years, what would my result have been, like that. So that's backtesting.
Got it. So which one do you think is the most reliable? The ones from the brokers directly or from the data service providers?
I would say that data is for every single broker or from any of the data service provider. If you see, you'll find a bit of difference, like 5-6% difference. So while calculating your results, you'll have to keep that 5-6% of margin, that there may be a margin of error of 5-6%, because some people calculate from close to high, high to low, like that. There are a lot of calculation differences. So you can find 5-6% differences, which is very normal, which you can see even if you compare two brokers like Angel or Zerodha through charts. You can see some differences in the price or in the way candle close, open, high, low close is shown.
Right. Got it. So this buffer that you're mentioning, like 5-6%, is based on your
Based on our experience, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So, as an algo trader, what programming skills are required and why?
As an algo trader, definitely you need to have command of any one of the language. In our case, Python, yes, because it should be as you should be confident to a level wherein the way you are thinking, you are able to code, and that's where the skill plays a very vital role when you talks about algo trading. So if you are thinking about an idea, for example, I want to trade a straddle at 9:20 a.m., short straddle at 9:20 a.m., and then the moment we get 0.5%, we exit and create one more straddle, for example. So you should be able to code this idea, right?
It's almost like transferring your language from English to German. So if you have to do that, then you need to know German, something like that. So you need to be efficient with the other language.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And that comes with practice. I mean, I being from commerce background, a lot of people ask this, right? Coding hard. Coding is like, a trade hull. You must have known Imran, right?
Yeah.
Imran is so he's the technical architect and the trainer at Trade Hull. He's the go-to man, right? So this is what he says, right? Coding is like an injection. It seems scary, but then you have to take it, right? So it's like that, right?
Right.
Yes, it improve. You can improve your skills with practice, and this is the real practice which you need. I mean, definitely at least 1.5 hour at least if you are getting started. Consider that you are going to spend at least 1 to 2 hours to Python or to the language, and it is doable. Yes.
Got it. So it's like once you prepare all of this, so for the rest of the time you're going to be free, or is it like you always have to keep developing on what you already have?
It's. I mean, if you talk about our strategy, you are trading a strategy, I'm trading a strategy. Yeah. If we meet after 6 months, you'll see you'll have 10 more ideas, right? I'll have 10 more ideas. So it never stops, right? As your ideas are getting better, so as your code should be, right? So, but yes, then this is the way of. See, the problem is we don't know what to trade. Once we know what to trade, then we face issues in executing it exactly the way it should be, right? So that is where algo trading comes handy. And yes, it comes at a cost of practicing. Yes.
Got it. So moving on. So can you let us know if algo trading is legal?
Algo trading, see, and some people call it even in the funnier way, right? Is algo trading a scam? So algo trading is legal, and I'll tell you, if a broker is providing an API, right? API is application programming interface, right? If a broker is providing an API, that means he has opened his platform so that uh, an algo order, an order through a code can come through API to his platform. And believe it or not, brokers have to spend very huge money to take the license from SEBI to launch their API. It's in crores, right? So if a broker has launched the API, that means he has opened his platform. That means an algo order is legal. Absolutely. The only challenge is that um, as a trader, right? If I'm touching somebody else's account connected with somebody else's PAN card, including my wife, my father, right? I must have a PMS license, right? Same goes with Algo, because you are touching somebody else's account, not through your hand but through your code. So ideally, you need a PMS license in any of the case. Otherwise, there is no questions in terms of legality or non-legality. If you are touching your account, if you are running any code on your account, there is no question about it. Ideally, it comes under PMS and SEBI permit.
Right. So if no matter how much the price is to get that license, if SEBI is allowing that, then it is definitely legal. Never thought about it before. Yeah. So yeah, got it. So now the important thing that you shared with us right now is that doing algo trading on your own account is not at all a problem. But if you have to do algo trading in somebody else's account apart from your own account, then that is when you need to have a license from SEBI to do it. Is that correct?
I would say not even algo trading. To trade
Any kind of
somebody's
trading.
account. For example, Pranav, my friend, let me trade your account, and I'm not going to do it with my code. I'm going to do it with my hands. I need a PMS license, right? Now I'm taking my hands back. I'm saying my code will work on it. There is no difference, right? There is no difference. The only thing is, I can only touch your account if I am a PMS account manager. If I'm not, then forget about algo, forget about anything. You cannot touch the account.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
Great. So moving ahead, like, can you share with us like what are the pros of algo trading when compared to traditional trading?
The first way is, first of all, it provides the holistic approach. For example, I've learned from, for example, from I learned your strategy, right? You are confident and you know that you know how to handle it at tough times, right? Even I have learned that. How can be a person confident that okay, for example, Mayank is applying this strategy like flawless? Am I that confident on day one? Maybe no, right? Maybe a loss on day one can demotivate me like crazy, right? What if I know that okay, I've learned this setup and let me backtest it for last 5 years and see what is happening. And then if I'm seeing the result and it is consistent, will I not be confident enough? Yes.
Absolutely.
Can I get started on a very small account? Yes, of course. And then if my results are matching, will anybody stop me, or will it take back my confidence to put it on a large account? Why not? Why not? So the first difference is approach. You can approach stock market as a business, because in every business, like, you plan, you test your plans, then you execute your plan in a very small manner, and then you actually invest. So it makes trading as a business. It provides a holistic approach. Obviously, second, backtesting, though you can backtest it from a lot of tools. Those backtestings are also comes under algo trading. Third is most important. Backtesting is done. Everything is done. You know, I'm super excited. First trade, and I have made the mistake because it gave me to a buy signal at 100, and I was nervous, so I lost it. Right, but then code won't stop. Code will simply execute the best way. I mean, that's something which I like the most about being a systematic algo trader is if it has to if it is about entering in a trade, then you enter simply. If it is about taking the stop loss, no emotion. Stop means stop, hard stop. So it allows you to follow your system no matter what. So these are the few advantages, yes. And if you learn coding, then after every year, your skills are getting better and better, and so you get better as the time progresses. So these are the few quick advantages which one can look at.
Right. I think along with that, even the risk of manual errors that would have happened otherwise is also eliminated.
Absolutely. So all these comes under execution errors. And yes, that's the challenge. I mean, being a trader from like 5, 6, 10 years, more than 10 years now, even if I have to place a single trade, my hand starts shaking. Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, that's the emotion plays. Yes.
Right. So that brings us to the end of section 1. So let's start with the next important section, which contributes 70% to 80% of our trading success, that is trading psychology. So now let's understand how psychology plays a role in algo trading compared to our traditional trading. So to start with, algo trading attempts to actually strip out the emotions of the trade. So how do you think this affects the psychology of a trader? So like earlier you were saying, the first algo trade that you were doing, once it got executed, you were nervous, right? So like this, what are the other aspects of psychology that is affected when we start doing algo trading?
I think the when you from a traditional trader to an algo trader, uh, the most important thing which happens is it actually kills the psychology. It actually eliminates the psychology part completely. So there is no psychology because you're not in front of the machine. You're not looking trade by trade things, right? You have backtested, so you have done all the homework, right? And obviously, whenever you start something new, there is always a piece of psychology involved. So the first and last challenge which actually any trader uh, uh, faces is the confidence on the code, right? Whether the code is exactly going to work the way it is expected or not. So that is where we have implemented one small thing, that implement the code not on full investment as a whole, implement it on a very small account, so that even if the code is not performing to a level how it should be, then you should know and then the mistake should be very small, like that. So I think it takes some time to get the conviction over the code that okay, yes, it is performing exactly the way I want. And the second thing is, uh, generally what we do as manual traders is we do a lot of things subconsciously, right? You might have not written something as a part of your rule, but you are doing it. For example, I won't take more than 10,000 rupees loss per trade, right? But then you are keeping it as low as to 8,000. You're not even letting it go beyond 8,000. So subconsciously your risk is not 10,000. Subconsciously your risk is 8,000. But then when you write a code, or once you talk about anybody, you'll say my risk is 10,000. But then code will understand what you are going to provide. Code will understand either 10 or 8, right? So these type of things, the rules, your rules which are deep down your subconscious, that takes some time for you to actually understand that okay, I am missing this type of rule. Yeah. uh, that takes a bit of time for you to realize and then improvise the code. But other than this, there is no psychology involved at all actually in stock market, which is the biggest and only one and only biggest advantage of being an algo trader, because there is no psychology involved.
Right. What I feel is when it comes to psychology in algo trading, probably it's more of, like you said, the conviction that happens while you're coding rather than in the market.
Right. So whatever happens to you, it happens before the market or after the market, not during the market. And yes, once you start any new code in the market running on your live money, you are a little nervous. But then as it moves forward, you get conviction, obviously.
Has there ever occurred a scenario where you have done backtesting, you have good conviction on your code, you have done backtesting with that, you have got amazing results, and once you started implementing in the live market, there were changes in your results or something that you did not expect happened?
Yeah, absolutely, that can happen. For example, if you are creating a positional system and you have not thought about uh, maybe the gaps, right? Because in a chart, what we see is okay, the stock has gone from 90 rupees to 200 rupees, but then it has taken some reverse gaps, right? If you have not, if your stop loss condition uh, is challenged by a gap opposite, then is there a rule already there in your code? If not, then code, then the result will not exactly match what you have backtested, right? Or even the backtested result has flawed because even back in backtesting you have not considered gaps, right? So those are the conditions which one understand as you move forward, as you progresses, or as you create at least one or two systems, right?
Right.
Uh, that is why it is always recommended not to trade it directly on a big live amount. Trade it on a very small amount for at least 3 months, so that you understand what type of challenges which you might have not thought about, right? Consider there was a day when the whole NSC was off, right?
Right.
I never planned for it. It was simply not. It was simply not giving the data, and
Correct.
obviously could stop. Then yes, we understood that okay, we need to ensure that okay, if the data is not receiving, if the broker terminal is down or something like that, we need to have some exceptional conditions, and we put that, and it is now fine. Yes.
Right. I think this particular what do you say, practice with smaller quantity is applicable even if you are trying to develop as a traditional trader, because even if you're a traditional trader and you have just started off and you're not really clear of all the rules of this game, and if you start trading off with a huge amount of money, then you're actually risking a lot on your plate. So I think this is something that is applicable both for a traditional trader as well as an algo trader, testing out with smaller capital and then building over on it, just like
And I'll tell you, Pranav, the best thing which actually happens with being an algo trader is like one, the psychological part. If I have to talk about, if you trade manually, for example, and if you have entered into a trade, then you are the part of that trade, right? Then you cannot create a distance with that trade. Generally, if you see, if you are long, then you are like very fixated with long. No, ye aisa lag raha jayega, like that,
Mhm.
right? When you are an algo trader, you are not connected with the trade, you are looking it from the back. Okay, it has crossed 2%, has it trailed or not trailed? Because my status says, or my rule says, if it has crossed 2% after my entry point, it should have done the trailing or have booked the profit. Has it done that or not done that? That means problem is not with the setup, problem is with the code. I'll have to fix it. So once coding, it becomes like another person trading for you. So you are actually more of a reviewer in terms of an algo trader versus an executor yourself or a trader yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as a traditional trader, how can one become confident in algo trading? What should be like around like 4 or 5 steps in which one can become like confident? What are the things? Let's say starting off with first you need to be proficient with your language in Python. So like that, what are the other things that we can look into so that we are confident before we actually get into this algo trading?
I think the only thing which is needed is to get proficient on Python, right? Because and I don't really buy this idea that people come and say sometime I don't have a strategy. They don't realize that they have a lot of strategy. It is just the tool which is missing to practice all their ideas, right? You have 1000 strategies, you don't know what to get started with. So people simply say they don't have strategies. Any trade, I have not met a single trader who don't have a strategy. No. The problem is I have too much strategy. I don't know what works, what don't work, what to get started with. As an algo trader, that's the first thing, right? So whatever is your best test ideas, write those three top ideas, practice them, and that will give you the actual thing from where to get started, right? So if you talk about steps, one and the biggest step is to get proficient with code, so that it should become as your regular language. जैसा हम हिंदी और इंग्लिश बोल पा रहे हैं, we should be able to write the code. Once I can write anything into the code, then you will be able to actually write your ideas, and that takes time. That comes with practice. It's like learning. It's like learning driving a car. it only requires you to drive it 2 hours a day and you become proficient in month, 1.5, 2 months, like that.
I think it's just like how Bruce Lee says, I don't fear the man who has practiced 1,000 different kicks, but rather he fears the man who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. So it's something like
Absolutely.
that, like figuring out the one that works and building on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So thank you so much on that insight of how the psychology changes when it comes to an algo trader. And I think
Sure.
that brings us to the end of section 2. So, Mayank, can you share, an explanation or your experience with respect to resistance? So when I say resistance, especially when you have to take a new course or when you have to get into algo trading or probably even just getting into trading, there's a lot of resistance or that thought process issues that we face, right? So how did you overcome that when you had to shift from an IT job into a full-time trader or probably from a trader into an algo trader?
And I think this goes with everybody, right? We all have faced this, and it is more of expanding your comfort zone, right? Uh, in my job, good salary, everything, everything was going very good, but then I wanted to be a trader, right? I think it is more of the conversation which goes inside your head. Few people takes the step, few people takes the step back, right? uh, I think it is about the clarity and understanding of thought which you have. For example, when I was on a verge of thinking that whether I have to leave my job and continue as a full-time trader, I could have done it. I did that in 2020. I could have done it 2017. I'll tell you, because from that point onwards, we were doing okay, right? Uh, but it took me 3 years just to understand and take the leap of faith. It is more of how convinced you are with your idea, and that goes with everybody. The only way to get over with the resistance is to do it simply,
I
right?
think
So
I think we will never have 100% clarity or 100% sure about anything in life. If we are
I would
actually
say
having clarity of
even if you have
80%,
I would say even if you have 50% clarity, 51% clarity, it is good to start. I mean, if you think about 100%, then people will know. The people who won't start are the ones who are looking for 100% clarity. It's not there,
right?
unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was 70 to 80%, but yeah, you raised the bar 50 to 51%. That makes
Yeah,
more
I mean,
sense. Yeah.
70 to 80% in stock market is almost the surety.
Now you're talking like an algo trader. Probability. All right, so let's head on to this next section. So in this section, I'm going to ask you a few questions where your opinion matters for us. So going with the first one, so when it comes to algo trading, there are numerous orders that you can place at once and multiple markets that we can trade at once, right? So what is your take on it? So should we actually go with that logic or should we actually go with trading on a single market and single order, something of that sort, single
Um,
strategy?
I think I would rather say it as the trader's personality, right? There are people who are scalpers, but there are people who are uh, like I am, right? I am a positional trader. Minimum swing, yeah. My minimum time frame is swing, so it is more of the personality, right? There are people who are ultra short time frame, 1 minute, less than that, ticks, right? So, what is suiting you the most? Algo trading provides you an approach how you can benefit to your advantages, right? Whatever you are going to test, you are going to do, test it, implement it small, and execute it fully, right?
Hmm.
Yes, it gives you an advantage of trading multiple market, multiple time frame at the same time, but then again, what is your personality is what matters the most. There are people. I mean, even if my account is if I see 100 orders in a day in my account, I'll get nervous, even if it is done through a code. Yeah, but then there are people, for them 200, 250 orders are normal. Yeah, they being a scalper. That too through algo trading. So there's more of the personality, I would rather say. Algo trader, algo help you to adjust your personality and trade it accordingly. That's the
That
main
gives you
thing.
that flexibility. Right. So, what type of investor or trader will benefit from algo trading the highest, in your opinion?
Whosoever is a systematic trader will be benefited, right? There are a few people who think that market is a magic. Definitely, market has not done any good to them, and will not do good to them at all till the time this psychology will be changed. Market is no magic; it's all probability, numbers, and maths, right? Um, and it is not about the time frame.
So
It
it
is
doesn't
about
matter if it is long-term traders or short-term traders. All you have to do is be flexible with your coding and manage it according to your personality.
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely. Yes.
all right. So, in your opinion, how long or how much time should a traditional trader invest time into to become a good algo trader on a day-to-day basis, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. If you're ready to invest at least 2 hours a day, then 1.5 month in terms of learning and practicing Python to a level wherein you can code any of your ideas are enough, right? But then, uh, because as eventually as you move on, you will become better, and that 2 hours you'll be able to code much more. Day one will not be the same. So 1.5 2 months with at least 2 hours per day practice will definitely take you to a level wherein what you are thinking you are able to write, and that is where you have actually nailed it. Yes.
Okay, got it. So, in your opinion, since Python plays a very big role or a major role, so where do you think is the best place or the way to learn Python?
Uh, See, in even if it is even that is happening in the schools, right? It has started happening in the school. I mean, my kids, they are exposed to coding, right? So it has already started happening, right? I would say that wherever, uh, because see, Python covers a lot of areas: medical, finances, right, banking, data crunching. You don't need all of that. So wherever you are getting good combination of stock market plus Python language, that is where you should get started with. Because with respect to stock market, it is only the 15 to 20% of Python which is being used. We don't have to be a Python specialist or a doctor to being an algo trader. Yeah, but then 15-20% of the Python knowledge, which will cover whatever is required to do in stock market, will be enough. So any program which is providing you the combination of both will be good. Yes.
I think that's a myth buster, whatever you shared right now. Because in my mind, I always thought that you have to be very proficient with Python 100% before, like again, 100% before we going into algo trading. But then when you said that it's only 15-20% of Python that we're actually using in stock markets, yeah, I think that is a great learning that you shared. Thank you so much for that. Right?
Sure.
So,
It's like this. I quoted with this example. For example, right? If you have to talk about stock market, yeah. My language is the primary language is Hindi, right? If I have to talk about stock market, I can talk in English on stock market topics. But if I have to talk about global warming in English, then I have very less words, right? So I only need that much English so that I can talk about stock market, right? So that's
right,
enough. That's how it is, and that's how it is with any other language.
right, got it.
Yeah.
So, when we are talking about a layman, right, a person who has not been into trading and who has not done any trading before, he has not much exposure to finance, and now he's planning to come into trading and finance. Would you recommend that person to first do the traditional trading and understand the nitty-gritties of it, and then move into algo trading, or would you directly recommend learning algo trading along with Python and moving forward?
See, there is no one right way in this. I would rather say, right? But then definitely, if you are taking the knowledge, the stock market knowledge, take it from the solicited sources, good trainers, um, read good books, right? At least, if you have to code, then at least you should know RSI kya hota hai, right? Moving average kya hota hai? What is straddle, right? At least that level of basic you should be able to understand, and that's enough, I think, to get started with. Because even if I learn straddle, right, I will only have convictions once I'll be able to test it, right? It's all about conviction, which will come once you test a lot of setups. And this is how I say that, test back test 10 different type of setups, and then you will understand what works, what don't work automatically.
Correct.
So nobody will have to come and tell you that okay, ये करना है, ये नहीं करना है. You will understand it. But then वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए भी to code, right, you know a bit of stock market. That will give you an advantage. Or if you don't know anything at all, then I would recommend to take some program with somebody, right? And if not, then maybe a book, a good book, at least 2-3 good books, so that you at least you are exposed to the terminology and the way thing works.
Right. So yeah, that makes more sense rather than directly getting into something. I think the one thing that everybody should remember is whenever they're getting into something new, they should know what is their biggest downside rather than what is their biggest upside. So if they know their biggest downside and they're okay with that, then they'll be more confident into what they're getting into.
Absolutely. And person should be ready to invest his time, energy, and money into learning. Nothing comes for free, right? You'll have to invest your time, right? Time and definitely money. If you'll have to buy a book, where will you buy from, right? And if you think that free videos and all these things will actually help you to take those things or that information very seriously, we know, right? Free videos हमने भी बहुत देखा है, right? कितना सीखे हैं उससे? नहीं. It is actually your time and money. When you invest, then you actually learn, and then you actually go to mentor and say मुझे ये समझ नहीं आया, right? Otherwise it is all time pass.
Correct.
That's how it is.
It's like how you utilize your time more than how much money you're spending.
Exactly. It's both, actually. It's both. And it should pinch you to a level wherein you should be able to take the action. है ना? Udemy से 500 रुपीस का कोर्स लिया है और उसके बाद दोबारा देखा ही नहीं खोल के, तो 500 भी क्यों वेस्ट किया? It's like that.
Correct.
Right? I've seen those people, right? I've taken the course 1 year back. Okay, I was not able to learn. Okay, have you watched the course? नहीं, first program. तो फिर कैसे सीखोगे? Right?
Correct. Awesome. So since we understood that knowing the downside is more important than knowing the upside, and we are going to have another episode with Mr. Imran, who is the technical architect of TradeHull and a trader himself, to help us understand the nitty-gritties of the technical aspects of algo trading as well as understanding the biggest downsides of algos. So thank you so much, Mayank ji, for accepting this request and having this conversation with us. It was great learning to understand the different things that one needs to know before getting into algos. So would you like to share anything, last few words that can benefit our viewers?
And thank you so much, Pranav, for inviting me and having this lovely conversation. I always like to talk about trading, algo trading, and believe me, algo trading is not what people think. Algo trading is just the right way to trade. Just provide a platform to trade better. And psychology, the biggest thing which any trader will have to overcome is psychology, obviously. And then I would only suggest that if you are to all the viewers, that if you are in the market and it's your first day, then it's like this, if you want to become a brain surgeon, there is a journey. You'll have to go through that journey, and there is a journey. So don't lose very fast. Save your money for those days wherein once you have a system, once you learned the nitty-gritty, then you can use that money versus losing everything on the day 1, day 2, or maybe in a week. We have seen those people, right, Pranav?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much, Mayank ji, and we'll see you again in second episode of Traders Mic.
So if you are new to trading, uh, even if not new and not getting results, have been trading from some time, and you are looking to scale up your results, learn more hacks about stock market, make your results better, you can go to the description, click on the link below, and there are programs which are offered by the intraday expert. Our friend Pranav gives a lot of value that do uh, the lifetime mentorship. It's a deal to take, man. It's a deal to take. Thank you so much, Pranav.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mayank bhai. So, if you are a person who is doing traditional trading and would like to learn algo trading and actually scale up your trading results with algos, then I highly recommend you click on the link below and watch their YouTube channel. And at the same time, they do offer amazing training programs where they provide massive value and help you become an independent algo trader. So if you are somebody who is willing to do that, then click on the link below in the description and you can get started with TradeHull. Thank you so much, everybody, once again for staying till the end, and meet you again in episode 2.